Hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Today, we have two weddings around. So mm, I had to move to another place, as always. So for those people who are asking, um, how is that nobody that in Egypt we don't have the lockdown because of COVID? I should say that here in Egypt hasn't been locked down for many months, so there's not lockdown here. Um, but I don't know if that is because Africa is doing it really well or because we all have COVID, so nobody noticed. We don't really know. So I guess Egypt is doing better than Europe and Americas. Or we are doing it so wrong that nobody cares. um, so today I must say that I have been a little bit weird. Um, and if you were during the workshop today in English, so sorry that I had to leave. Um, I will try to finish it in another moment, but basically, um, I've been I had a stress, um, suddenly, not like stress of being nervous, um, but just stress inside. And this is because, of course, I am not teaching you things so you do the process. I am doing the process with you every day. There are many things that I have no idea that I am going to touch, to speak, to write. So for me, it's also um, so for me it's also a process. So the today was a hard work inside for me, and suddenly I had the um, the workshop in the campus, and I suddenly got this stressed where I lost the connection. I lost the uh, I lost it. So emotionally and mentally, I felt like I was falling down. So that's why I needed to cut the connection today, um, in the workshop, and um, to pay attention to my body that told me to rest and to sleep. So I did it, no doubt. So that's that's because of working with the self daily. So I didn't say worship. I said workshop. It was a conference I was doing in the in the campus Arcean. So of course you will see myself changing a bit, like uh, with all this work, the inner work. Um, that's normal. That sometimes you will see me like low in energy, sometimes very happy. It changes constantly. So of course, uh, according to my personality, I am a Leo, so I have no problem to be here speaking to thousands of people, and being myself. I don't care. I like this. But I have my other half, which is Capricorn, and I hate that. Also, so sometimes I need for me to be quiet, alone, nobody to ask me things, nobody to be around, and just to be myself inside the cave and being alone. So I also need that stuff from the personality. I wanted to clarify some things. I guess I I don't have to, but I need to clarify things because of this pedagogue that I have inside that is saying clarify, clarify. Just to clarify this, um, there were some people concerned about if I am in this state, like getting sick and with this cough and all this, because of what I am channeling, or any things that I am uh, perceiving from the energy, going to the pyramids or whatever. And no, it's not that. I've been feeling like this since March. Okay, so it's an inner process. I don't blame any being, anyone that I am channeling. It's making me bad. Going to the pyramids, it's not making me bad. Um, if I feel wrong, if I feel sick, if I feel bad, is basically because I allow it. So it's my responsibility and my irresponsibility if I didn't take care of myself. So so all these things, the coffee, all these things that I am feeling is basically my own incoherence trying to find its balance. So it's just purging that. So I don't blame any being. I don't blame the pyramids. I don't blame that. If it is affecting myself, is because it's only myself, the one that should take care of that. So don't worry about that. So another thing is about the offerings. People were asking about the best offer I can make to someone, to something, whatever. So I'm not the one to say what is the best offer, because offerings is about what you have to give and what do you want to receive. It's not about a specific list of things that you have to give in order to blah blah blah. No, no, no. It's not like that. It's just from your heart. Uh, what are you willing to give? Sometimes it's just a smile. It's just looking to them, to just recognize that they are there. It's just a hug, energy. You you will know how to do it. So, but it has to be from your heart, really giving it from you. So if you have a list and you say, oh yeah, I did everything. I put the 2 scoops of honey. I am looking for the violet flower. No, it's not working like that. Okay, it's not like that. Another question that that some people did to me, it was about Orion's war. That I was talking about Orion and the war between the galaxies on. So they were asking, so what happened? Why, uh, if there is no good and bad and there's no demons, why you explain about the war in Orion and the dark ones trying to get inside the system? And it doesn't have any. They're um, they are not related, basically. It's not exactly the same. It's not exactly the same. That the system of darkness that I was trying to explain is not related with the Orion's War. Is another thing. It's kind of related, but not directly. Okay, we have to understand that even if for us the aliens seems like they know everything and they are so connected and so so great and so enlightened, uh, they are also aliens. They have their problems, they have their lives, they have their stuff. So they have also wars, okay, in between their own dimensions and so on. So sometimes we have to understand that we look into aliens the same way like dogs look into us. So for dogs, we are all like great beings, like gods, like wow, they do all these crazy things that we have no idea how they do it. So we love them because they are like wow. And humans, we have all these conflicts and all these problems. So yeah, so basically this about the dark ones. There is darkness in every dimension, of course. um, there is um, darkness everywhere, but only us in our reality have shaped the darkness in demons with animal shapes and so on. So this is our darkness. In other planets, in other dimensions, they have their own way of the darkness, and they all have their own conflicts according to their own reality. Okay, so they have their conflicts, we have to solve ours, they have to solve theirs, etc. And that's it. uh, Another thing to uh, to understand about this, that some people were telling me, is about the cabal. A lot of people is explaining about the cabal, speaking about cabal. And I always like to explain the origin of these things. Okay, so Kabbalah, its origin is Kabbalah, and Kabbalah is study of the Torah. Is the study of um, of the information behind the the study of the information behind the message of God according to the Hebrew tradition. So it's about philosophy and how to explain. It's about philosophy and to explain how the universe is created, the concept of everything, etc. We have to remember that the Hebrew people were persecuted in Europe by the Christians for a long time because they had no country, so they spread all around the the world without a country. So they had to survive, and they were so persecuted that they needed to make like close schools, so they were not killed. So they created this Kabbalistic education, okay, that was really, really difficult to understand. So nobody would understand what they were. So the Christians started to create the concept of Al from the Kabbalah to talk about people trying to take the power, and they relate these people with the Jewish. So they started to create the idea of complot with the synonym of Cabal. Okay, this happened a few centuries ago. So these two concepts are born from the same thing, but they are different in the use that they give to the word. Okay, so in one hand, the Kabbalistic people are the people that study, okay, that study that study all information from God, from the Word of God, from the Torah, from the teachings of the Hebrew, the Judaism. Okay, that's one thing. And the other thing is what the Christians believed about them, that were people trying to get the control over the religion and so on. But so now we use the word cabal for the people that are trying to control the world. Okay, but I would like to say this. We should not put all of them together in the same thing. Because if there are 3 or 4 all crazy guys that are trying to control the world, and for some reason a few of them are Jewish, okay, so it doesn't mean that all the Kabbalistic people and the people that speak about Kabbalah and all these things, we are trying to control the world or whatever. Okay, it's not always um, about conspiracy theories. Okay, we are in a time with so much conspiracy that we miss the point of history, and we just put everyone in the same package, and it's not like that. So there are some crazy guys trying to control the world. Okay, yes, but it doesn't mean that they all follow the Kabbalistic tradition. Okay, um, so that so if someone says that I am from the Cabal, believe whatever you want to believe. I don't care. I really don't care. So I love Kabbalistic. I never studied it, but I love it. I love when some people try explain me about Kabbalah, because it's a really good knowledge. So I'm not going to just go against all Kabbalistic because 3 or 4 of them are trying to control the world somehow. I don't know. So let's relax a little bit. And another thing that I was reading here is about Illuminati. Illuminati is exactly the same. We should not say the Illuminati are trying to control the world. That's another conspiracy theory that it doesn't work. The Illuminati were born in the 18th century, and they were all scientists trying to help us to think by ourselves. They created education, they created science, they created our mother science, they created the republics, they tried to democracy again, basically the free press, everything that the Illuminati did was created by them. Basically, all we have today is because of the Illuminati, because Illuminati in Italian means the enlightened ones. So they thought we are the illustrated, the illuminated, the enlightened means the illustration. That's how they call it. So the process, the time of illustration between the 17th and the 18th century created this growth of our civilization. So that 3 or 4 all crazy guys were trying to control everything and the society, because they said, oh, if we are trying to educate the whole population, that would take a long time, so it's better to control them, so they would do whatever we want. So those are 3 or 4 guys that they started this idea. But at the first time, it was not bad. At the first time, they created everything that we have. So we should not say all of them, this is the organization that are, no. It's like saying, like how would you feel if people say all the new age people are a fraud and they are trying to steal you, whatever. So it's not all of us. So it's basically the same. Okay? It's basically the same. So speaking about the Illuminati and all these people, we have to understand that when they said Novo Ordus Secularum, they were not talking about a conspiracy that they wanted to control everyone and everything. Okay, um, otherwise they wouldn't put it in $1 bill. Okay, it's like I want to hide everything, but I put it here so everyone can see it. No, seculorum in Latin means the new world order. Okay, and this is not something that before was something to hide. Before it was something to be proud of. They would say, yes, the Masons, here we are, the Masons trying to bring you a new world. Imagine, this is exactly the same as we are trying to say now. It's like we are here to work for the new world, for a new humanity. And I said, here for a new humanity. Okay, so we are here for a new humanity. And imagine that we put that statement in Latin. It would be exactly the same. Basically, when they said about Novo Ordo Secularum, they were talking about creating a new order of laicism in schools, education, free education for everyone. They were saying we're going to make republics, no more kingdoms, and so on. Okay, so it's a lot of things that we have been defending these 200 years. We have been defending this how do you say, we have been defending these concepts that were from the Illuminati and the Masons. So what happened after that is that some of the Freemasons and some of the Illuminati, they understood, they saw that we as citizens, we were irresponsible of our own life. So what they just did was to organize something, some of them, not all of them, some of them, to organize something from below so they could control. And there you have a conspiracy. There you have a conspiracy, okay, of these 3-4 crazy guys that try to organize everything from under the system. And yes, that's true. There are people doing that, of course. But what I want, the point that I am trying to discuss here, is that when we say Freemasons, when we say Illuminati, when we say, we are just putting all of them in the same bag. And it's not like that. It's not like that. There are things that it's for me, it's like saying that like we can say, I don't know, all Germans are Nazis. Why all Germans are Nazis? So what? Everything that Germany has done before Hitler was bad too. So Gutenberg, the mentor of the imprint, he doesn't worth it now because 500 years after that there was a crazy guy, you know. So some of these things that we are living today and we call them conspiracies, they are just putting all the history in the same bag when it's all about 3 or 4 guys, okay, that are using the history in order to do their own things, okay? But it's not like that. If we don't like for other people to think that we are all the same bad things of the new age, so we shouldn't do exactly the same with others. So the point of all this that I am willing to say is that we should not go against institutions and organizations. we should educate people. Our main goal is to educate people, not to go against people. Because when you fight, you give strength to the organizations. What you have to do is to understand that behind the organizations, there are only 4 or 3 old crazy guys that are just mistaken or whatever. So we have to find a balance and teach, educate, much more than teaching. So there is a moment behind all this, after these things, that we find the anguish, because suddenly we see around and we just perceive that, oh, so this has been always like this. Everyone fighting, everyone trying to change, and the good ones fighting the bad ones, but all of them are mistaken. And so um it's going to be constantly like this. So it's like meaningless. You There's nonsense. So people start to lose the meaning of everything. So there's where you find the anguish. So anguish is the emotion that you feel when you cannot understand the answer to what for. What is for? Why to live? Why to do all of this? Anguish is not something that starts or begins from a cause or a purpose. It's not related with something specific reality. It's about everything. It's about what is the meaning of everything. Why is this like this? The anguish is like that emotion that all the other emotions and put them together, so none of them can move, none of them know exactly where to go, where to move, and so there's no meaning, no movement. So anguish is not born from a war, from seeing watch a war. Anguish comes from not understanding the meaning of anything. Why there is a war, why this, why that, why everything. So basically, the anguish is something that we all gonna experience during the process of acknowledging ourselves. Why are we living this reality? Why are we here? The existential questions are those related to the anguish. So anguish basically borns from the nonsense. And we have spoken about this, that the nonsense basically um, is a state through where we can understand that our mind, ourselves, is the only one capable to give a meaning to the thing. The biggest nonsense, which is the anguish, is the one that helps us to find the biggest meaning of everything, which is love. The universe basically was created from love, and the created finds the origin of the universe through anguish. We may say that, oh, it's so unfair, it's so horrible that we can only feel the unity by anguish. But we will recognize that in the experience in our lives, we all found the truth, the power of the divine, the process of awakening through a crisis, through anguish. So picture that what we call anguish basically is the conjunction of all the other emotions. We are so used to feel the emotions and to feel everything all constantly around with so many movement in our life that suddenly when anguish grabs them all and put them very tight in one point, stabilized, so no other emotion is moving around, only here. There's no movement, so you cannot feel anything. And we, as humans, interpret that stability as anguish. So we are so used to feel, to perceive and feel emotions, that when all emotions stop, like in a shock, like everything stops, we relate that moment with anguish. So this is why anguish is basically a tool. When we feel anguish, if we accomplish to go beyond the emotion of anguish, we will realize that that's an opportunity to start again, to create something new. So after I use the anguish as a tool to get to the creator, I realize myself that I am the creator. So it's in that moment when I become love. And by love, I start to expand the new creation. So here I want to say something about these emotions. We live in a society that was designed to be productive. Basically, we live in a society that everyone says that we have to work, that we have to work the fields, that we have to work in a factory, that we have to work in education, that we have to work in society, that we have to be useful for everyone. And in society, not today, but all the societies, if you are not working, you're not useful. So whoever is feeling sad, depressive, with anguish is not useful for society. So basically, the unconscious of the society has designed a system so we perceive that to feel those emotions is not useful, so it's bad, so I have to avoid them, otherwise I'm not productive. Basically, in our society, we all say, don't cry, oh, I don't want to feel like this, we have an addiction for the happiness of others and myself. Basically, it's like an addiction, like sugar. The reason why we don't allow ourselves to live the process of an emotion is because we feel unproductive. So if we respect the time of that emotion and we see beyond the emotion itself, we can reach behind the reason why I'm feeling that emotion. And there is how you can picture that you become more productive when you do that. When we accomplish to create a situation of that produce anguish into a productive situation, we find delight. Now the question would be, how can I do that? So I would say each one knows how, but you just have to pay attention. So basically what we have to understand is how to become aware of our emotions. So it's not about to control emotions. Um, if we feel sadness, if we feel anguish, we have to feel it. And we have to ask ourselves why I feel it. Try to end the feeling. Because I have to become aware of why I feel it, of why I have it, not to how to get rid of it. One of the greatest mistakes that we usually do is to believe that we are here to try to control emotions. And we are not here to try to control them. We are here to understand them why. To try to control emotion is like try to control another culture because you don't understand their language. That's not good. So basically, you have to put awareness on why are you feeling what you feel. The vibration for today, nie. Nie. The statement for today is I am the expansion of the being. The code for today is evolution. The natural and biological law of evolution implies constant adaptation to the environment that eternally modifies itself. Even though we attribute to the natural world, it's transversal to all dimensions. For due to the incessant cosmic change, all living and ethereal beings are forced to adapt, to modify their realities. So let's go to the alignment. So the last thing, because I was watching some comments, just to clarify this, what I am explaining here is not to in emotions, is not to leave away the anguish, is not to find a new time without anguish, is to live happily ever after. No. If I have been misunderstood with this, thinking that what I am doing is to help you to live happily, sorry, it's not, it's my mistake. What I am just trying to do is to give you tools to understand how to create your own reality. So what you do with that is your thing. If you use all this to become happy, So good for you. If you do all this and take all this to clean your anguish from your life, good for you. Um, if you take all this to create a new world, good for you. So it's all about how you use it. It's not about my intention on how you will use it. Okay? That would be. Mm. So be free. So relax, sit comfortable. I move my shoulders in circles to relax the weight of the body. And I relax, letting all the weight of the body fall down. I focus only in my breathing. I feel the light around me, touching the skin and getting inside my bones, organs, muscles. I feel the brightest of all my being shining outside and inside. I recognize myself. I am the higher self that descends to my body. Take a deep breath and perceive how you get inside the crown, going through the third eye, throat, heart, plexus, sacrum, root, knees, ankles. I manifest my intention to go to my wish, to the encounter of love. I recognize the earth as the anguish I have to transcend, to go through, and I go for it. I perceive myself going through my feet to the soil, the ground, the roots, stones and rocks, going through all the crust of the world. I perceive the heat the embrace of the fire through the magma, feeling the pressure going faster and faster towards the core, the iron core of the planet. I feel the pressure on me of the whole planet. I feel so much that I feel nothing. What is your biggest anguish in your life? Be aware of that anguish and bring it to you. Be aware of it and recognize it, for it is your tool to find the love, the purpose, and sing. I am the expansion of the being. I am the expansion of the being. I am the expansion of the being. And is in this expansion where I find the meaning. From the light we come, from the light we are. And we hold your sorrows. Our light is in your hands. Our light is in your feet. For the light is your responsibility. Of what you do with your hands and where you go with your feet. Your sorrow is just a moment when you stand still to think what you do and where you go. We are not here to take away your sorrows. We are here to hug you. Well then, be free. Take a deep breath. And take all this awareness through your body by caressing, stretching, and yawning. Coming back here and now, opening your eyes. It's time for you to face it. The time is near. Debo sentar. El tiempo es ese. So be prepared. This is the time. Gracias. Thank you everybody for being there. So as always, tomorrow at the same time and pay attention to your dreams. Bye, see you tomorrow.